Hey everyone, this is our recap of episodes 3 and 4 of Our Unwritten Soul, a show bursting with twin sisters, hidden secrets, and emotional surprises that'll keep you glued. In episode 3, we dive deeper into Miji's fight to prove herself. Facing tough challenges and old memories, while Mirai shines with her smarts in a new setting, Hosu stirs things up with big choices, and unexpected connections shake everyone. Episode 4 ramps up the drama with more twists, tough decisions, and moments that'll shock you. In this recap, we'll break down the big scenes, from family, struggles to jaw-dropping turns, all set in Soul's heart and a quirky farm. So grab your snacks, get comfy, and let's unpack this wild story together. Here we go with our Unwritten Soul episodes 3 and 4. Episode 3 of Our Unwritten Soul kicks off with Hosu spotting Miji, thinking she's not Mirai, but she quickly convinces him he's wrong. A clever dodge. Flashbacks show Miji and Hosu were super close in high school, laughing and hanging out, until Miji saw Hosu hugging Mirai from far away. Heartbroken, thinking they were dating, she lost focus. During a big race, tripped and broke her ankle, ending her sports dreams, a crushing blow. Desperate to get back to running, she took off her cast too soon and trained hard, but it ruined her chances of ever competing again. A sad mistake. Meanwhile, Hosu quietly helps a victim in a case tied to his client, bending the rules. His boss, Lee Chung-koo, a lawyer Hosu looked up to since hearing him speak at college, finds out and shuts Hosu out of meetings and cases. A tough punishment? Miji, still pretending to be Mirai, meets the elderly restaurant owner, hoping to change her mind about selling her land, but the woman firmly says no. A big letdown? Miji doesn't give up, visiting the restaurant again and again, even cleaning it to win the owner over, but nothing works. Frustrating? She sneaks into the woman's poetry class to try again, only to get caught. Oops. Asking for help, Miji talks to Hosu, and they learn the owner is a famous poet who's been helping students from single-parent homes, including Hosu, who got her support for school years ago. A surprising connection? At the strawberry farm, Mirai, posing as Miji, works hard, picking the best saplings and boosting the crop with her smarts, impressing everyone. After work, Sejin offers her a ride home and is shocked to see her drive a car like a pro, especially since she can't even ride a bike. A funny twist. Back at the law firm, Hosu's left out of a project he poured his heart into. A real sting. Despite Chung-koo's orders, he begs his teammates to let him join, which hilariously lands him on a triple date. There, he bumps into Park Ji-yoon, an old high school friend who was close to Mirai after Miji's injury. They call Miji to join, thinking she's Mirai, and Ji-yoon later drives her to the restaurant, where Miji pretends the owner is her grandaunt to cover up taking a bathroom key by mistake after getting scolded sneaky. At the firm, Chung-koo introduces Hosu to a humanitarian lawyer, pushing him to switch teams. They argue, and Chung-koo asks if Hosu will ditch his values just to keep his job, a heavy question. Meanwhile, Miji's boss pressures her to get the restaurant owner to a redevelopment meeting, while Ji-yoon also wants the restaurant for a project. A crazy coincidence? Miji rushes to the scene, but the owner meets both and catches Miji's lie about being her grandaunt. Awkward? Still, the owner plays along, then agrees to meet Miji's company to say no in person, letting Miji technically complete her task, a small win? While Miji steps out to grab the key, Hosu visits the owner to thank her for funding his education, the first to ever do so, and she cooks him a warm meal. A touching moment? At the farm, Sejin says sorry to Mirai after finding out she cleaned the warehouse, explaining the old chair she moved was his grandfather's, special to the farm he now runs. A heartfelt reveal? In the final scene, Hosu tells Miji, still thinking she's Mirai, that he's quit his job and wants to fully support her moving forward. A huge decision. Episode 4 of Our Unwritten Soul starts with Hosu quitting his law job, but his boss, Chung-koo, is super mad and threatens to block him from getting new work. A big problem. Meanwhile, Miji, still acting as Mirai, finds Hosu at Rosa's house, the restaurant owner, and learns he's jobless now. A huge surprise. At Mirai's office, Miji's boss puts her in charge of a big meeting, setting her up to fail if it goes bad. A sneaky move. Later, Miji visits Hosu, who's feeling down and rejected. She suggests he try crocheting to stay busy and feel better. A kind idea. The next day, Hosu tells his mom he's unemployed, shocking her. He meets Miji and Rosa at a shop, where Rosa says Hosu's now her lawyer, handling her stuff. She tells Miji to talk to him for restaurant meetings, a new twist. On their way home, Miji hears Ji-yoon, an old friend, say she didn't want to invite Mirai, really Miji, to a class reunion, which hurts. Miji insists she and Hosu will go anyway. Ready to face it? At the farm, Mirai, pretending to be Miji, realizes their grandma needs a haircut, something Miji always did. Their mom finds unpaid hospital bills and worries something's wrong with Mirai, adding stress. At the reunion, classmates mock Mirai for failing an exam, and Miji for being a cleaner, not knowing it's Miji there. She stays quiet, stunned, but Hosu defends her, standing up strong. Later, he asks why she didn't speak, confused. That night, Mirai calls Miji to come home to cut grandma's hair since their mom's out, but it clashes with Miji's meeting. When Miji says no, Mirai tells her to pay the hospital bills herself, a tough demand. The next day, Mirai gets strawberries from Sajin and feels lonely, with no one to share them with. She sees how hard she is on herself, then makes jam. With Hosu's mom, who praises her kindness, a sweet moment. On meeting day, Miji and Hosu can't reach Rosa, so Miji rushes to her house and finds her collapsed after a fall. Scary? Miji freezes, panicking, unable to help. Flashbacks show Miji hid in her room for 3 years after her ankle injury, broken by losing her sports dream. Mirai cut her hair short and pretended to be Miji to help her graduate, which is why Mirai's in the graduation photo with Hosu, a big sacrifice. Miji only left her room when their grandma collapsed before, a hard memory. Hosu arrives, helping Miji and Rosa, getting her to the hospital, where she's admitted, and the meeting is delayed, a relief? Later, Miji feels guilty thinking she caused her grandma's stroke. Hosu says no, sharing he lost his dad in the accident that took his hearing, a deep truth. Miji, still acting as Mirai, asks why he protects her so much. Hosu confesses. He's always loved Miji, his first love, a heart-shocking end. That's our recap of Our Unwritten Seoul episodes 3 and 4, and what a heartfelt journey it's been. This show keeps us hooked with its mix of sisterly bonds, surprising secrets, and emotional twists that hit hard. What's next for these characters? Will they conquer their struggles or face bigger surprises? Grab your snacks and don't miss the next episodes because this story's getting wilder.